for me. I think a drastic change or something that would affect us students in a positive way.
Did you vote in the last Sango elections?
Yes, I did. Because I believe that student government really does, they have their own presence here. They actually have a purpose to serve. Like a lot of people think that, a lot of people don't like voting for Sango because they feel like they don't have any purpose like in that area. But I think they do. It's just that it's not. I guess their contributions aren't as loud, so people don't know about it. Did you vote for Sango during the last elections?
I did not.
How come?
I didn't know elections were going on.
The Sanggunian has experienced a failure of elections more than once. Some have attributed this to students' apathy. Is this really the case?
How would you determine or I guess define apathy?
I'm of the thought na life in Ateneo is very comfortable. I see that the most supported student governments are the one where the students really see a need to funnel all their concerns to a student government or a student council. Life in Ateneo is relatively comfortable in such a way that students have a lot of control over the classes they can take. Random number system is implemented very well. It's not like in other schools na kailangan mong pumila from the start of the day to the end of the day. Admin, faculty, non-teaching staff, they're all relatively nice. I mean, sobrang parang isolated cases every time magkaroon ng issues between student and non-student. Ayun, parang Sango also doesn't have these kinds of initiatives that really sets it apart from orgs, in my personal opinion. Parang orgs can do the best things, especially in terms of engaging the students' interests. Particularly focusing on advocacies. Sango kasi parang it's very difficult to latch on to something that really relates to the Atenean.
I guess it goes back to the basic problem of what student government should be about. Because I think throughout the years we've had these fancy ideas of advocacies, of projects and things like that. But student governance, if you look at outside the university, in other universities, especially for example in the United States or in other Western countries, student governance is this idea of defending student interests and student rights.
Parang why people don't vote anyway, kung in a more general sense, I think they don't know. I think it's just a matter of like they don't know what Sango's supposed to do for them or what Sango's supposed to do at all. Ayun. So baka may problem of messaging, baka may problem of mismong establishing the role of student government in campus, lalo na especially because like students are more preoccupied with like organizations.
I think in the same way that a society or a country would work, things evolve, things change, dynamics change, authority changes, and feel ko with the onset of like a new generation talaga, iba na yung mga pinaglalaban ng tao ngayon eh. If a long time ago, people were still so vocal about issues in school, about wanting to have their org rooms, people wanting to have these kinds of services, ngayon na nandito na lahat na kailangan natin. Parang nawala na ng reason yung Atenista para maglaban sa mga to forward things that they fight for.
Okay.
Digo kasi that's where student representation starts eh. When you clamor for something that you need, dun magkakaroon ng thirst for an avenue to voice out your concerns. So pag nawala na yung Atenista ng something to fight for, talagang hindi na siya maghahanap ng way para ma-voice out yung concerns niya. Isang factor dun, nung lumakas na yung influence ng COA, nung influence ng orgs, siguro na feel ng mga estudyante na parang kaya ko palang mag-invest dito, tapos mas malaki yung impact ko dito. Dito na lang ako mas magbigay ng time and effort kasi mas malaki yung yield, mas maganda yung impact. So feel ko,
I don't think it's a matter of apathy, but it's more of us being advocacy driven and wanting to help people firsthand instead of reaching out in an institutional level. Why? Because you don't really see the change agad-agad when you're in an institutional level. Whereas when you help firsthand, there's something that you already see the results. So yun, I don't think really it's apathy, but it's more of us being more advocacy based rather than looking at the politics behind things or the structural reasons behind issues.
Time, you don't feel the urgency of voting, you don't know what somebody can do for you, or you don't know what they've ever done for you. But I feel, kasi parang, if you knew that maybe one day you could get into a disciplinary case and you would need some kind of legal counsel and only the student government institution could provide that, maybe you'd care because meron direct benefit for you. If you knew that someone, like, for example, had their thesis subsidized, or you could get your thesis subsidized, ganyan, maybe you would care. Alam mo yun, parang hindi mo naman maisip yung mga problems na pwede mong harapin in the future. Pag nandiyan lang yung mga polling booths. Kasi hindi naman yun yung, like, hindi siya direct. Ganun. But, I think kasi, apart from like yung direct benefits na kaya mong makuha, and yung mga things that are also unconscious to you, like how student government negotiates with admin regarding various issues, ganyan. Parang, okay, yun yung mga hindi mo alam or whatever. But siguro, I feel what students should know also na kahit hindi nila maramdaman yung outcomes ng yung things that are not conscious to them, or they might think that they will never benefit from yung whatever Sanggunian has to offer in terms of services, ganyan. Kung sa tingin naman talaga nila na wala yung direct benefit to them, kahit in their 4 years of being na natin hindi yun, you know, like, even though those options are possible, they will never like avail of them. I think I'm very Atenean siguro, but like, if you know, if that's the case for you, that's not necessarily the case for the next person.
Student governance is this idea of defending student interests and student rights, and it starts at its most basic within the school itself. So it's talking to the administration when there are things going on and there are wrongs being done.
When it comes to these things, you can't give a black and white answer, and that's not necessarily what is being looked for anyway. But ayun, it's still an ongoing process of trying to figure out what.
Foremost, yung idea or yung mindset ng collaboration. I mean, I've always preached that since the start of the year na parang others do the best that they do. Why not tulungan na lang natin sila, especially when they reach those institutional problems. Like for example, if orgs don't have enough funding or they don't have enough external support for whatever they're doing, which Sanggu has the network to be able to do naman. Why not, diba? Why not help them do that na lang? Siguro another is really starting off the year with asking them what their needs are. Nagkaroon kami ng needs assessment survey agad before the year even started, so that we knew what advocacies, what things they wanted to tackle for the year. Dialogue helps a lot also. Hindi pwede naman na porket kami yung student government at kami yung elected officers, kami lang yung nag-uusap. So, nagsimula kami with courtesy calls. We had a lot of meetings, not just with co-students but also faculty and admin. Ayun, it's really just broadening our perspective and horizon on really what's happening and avoiding that kind of closed-minded mindset.
Sa akin, and I've expressed this before to my friends, para sa akin, ang university, ang school setting, ito ang breeding ground ng good citizens.
Okay.
Where you practice your role, your duty as a good citizen, dito nagsisimula sa school eh. This is where you first have your experience with human relationships, social dynamics, ganon, leadership experience. It starts here. So when the microcosm of elections, of politics is shit here in a small university setting, what happens when students go out there into the real world? Now, that's not entirely parang plausible din, debatable din yun, kasi syempre when you're out into the real world, when you're an actual paying adult, marami ka na kino-consider na alam mong maa-affect sa elections. But for me talaga, building on political will and building on awareness of different societal structures starts in school eh. So that's why I think the Sangguniang elections are so important. That's why I think student government is so important. Kasi dito siya nagsisimula. Dito nagsisimula yung pake. So kung dito pa lang sa school, wala ka ng pake, paano pa kaya paglabas mo na mas maraming problema, mas mawawalan ka pa ng pake. So yun.
I think COA has done a lot in terms of ensuring that the different organization and its members are in line with nation building, community building. They're doing a lot, but of course they have to step up. Yun nga, yung politicization that I mentioned a while ago. I think that Athenians come to when they go to the polling station and they actually start to vote, they will still